Good evening, viewers at home. I hope it's been a very lovely day. My name is Emmanuel Ibikale, and with me in the studio, I have a dignitary, a notable young Nigerian doing well for himself. He's a youth, a promising youth. He has a vision, he has a story, and he's willing to tell his story. May we meet you?
Okay, thank you, the viewers. My name is Ogunwale Olashi Mayowa. Actually, I'm a musician. I'm popularly known as Sky Mayo.
Sky
True
Mayor.
musician, precisely.
Very well,
And I'm also the CEO of Save of the Sky Association.
very well. Would you want to acquaint us with some of the roles you took? Some of the roles you took in the NSAS protest. I learned that you took some remarkable decisions and some of the roles you took. Would you be willing to share with our viewers at home?
Yes, very good point. You see, growing up as a young man, I've seen the handwriting on the wall.
Okay.
You know, I almost grew up. My entire life I used it in church premises. Growing up, the church very vibrant in many segments. I was striving just to make my country, my world better. But later on, I discovered there's a lot for me to do. So when I discovered there's some handwriting, the country is not in its best shape, then I decided to open an NGO in order to make my point noted. So when the NSAS issue, during the NSAS issue, I did some singles as a musician. I did 2 singles. One, Morasishe, and second one is Nigeria Adun, of which I did posters. We are promoting it by mobile, using vehicle to promote it, and we are actually pasting posters in order to calm the youth and making sure they request for their right in a civil way. We did a lot, just trying to make our country better, and we know it's going to be better.
Very well. So would you be willing to also tell us what your NGO stands for?
Well, my NGO is just for youth, in order for you to agitate for their right in a civil way, just to make sure my country, the whole world, to know the outstanding nature or the outstanding power in the nature. You see, I was growing up, I told you I'm a religion guy, I'm a Christian by birth, giving my life to Christ, but I was not too comfortable and content with some of the narratives with Metal Ground.
The narratives.
So I actually was wondering what's going on. Because if you said religion, Christian is a religion of peace, but why is it that we are not experiencing that peace? Even within the Christendom, we actually have we have Pentecostal Orthodox Church, we have Kerubu, we have Seraphim. Both of them, they are not relating together. You see, Pentecostal will not want you to go to another church of Kerubu that they are doing, during the inside Christendom. I was not wondering, now go to another religion entirely, going to Muslim. You cannot dwell with them, or you cannot relate with them in a peaceful manner. And you are saying it's a religion of peace. By the way, I don't know, how can you say our language was scattered and you want peace, or you are calling a gender a wicked vessel, and you are calling peace? And then the meaning, what I know about peace is just about for the society, maybe to coordinate society as one, making them they are unite in a form. So when I decided to open an NGO, I make sure that outside religion, what can I do?
Okay.
Because religion has told me some narratives of which I'm not too comfortable with, you know.
Will you be willing to share some of these narratives?
Actually, well, you see, religion is about spiritual,
Okay.
and it has been our culture, not even only Nigeria, most of countries. Religion has been our culture, and we can't do without it. But I believe there are some incompleted sentences within the narratives. You know, actually, when the Old Testament was 40, they provided for
The new one.
but the new narrative hasn't given me my taste.
I believe the New Testament also does not have all it takes. It has not answered all the questions that we've been asking over the years.
Exactly.
Hmm.
For example, he said God is spiritual.
God is spiritual.
So, how did you know it's spiritual when you cannot experience it? But you see, when something is spiritual, that means we don't know where we are coming from.
Part of the narrative you said you had issues with was the fact that the Bible said the man is the head of the woman. You said that is also incomplete.
Yes.
And you have a sound argument.
Okay. You see, I will still come to that aspect. But let me start from God. You know, religion and nature. You see, why I decided to go for nature, because it actually gave me the best narratives.
You believe nature has better narratives?
Yes.
You also mentioned the settings of the nature.
Yes. You know, when you are able to unravel it,
okay,
you can get the best answer from it. Because, you know, the whole world, we cannot beat nature. We can't. Because nature is actually bigger than us. Until we get that settings right, and that is when everything will work interwoven. Right? Like I was saying, now you said we come from God. What is our purpose? We are going to God, but we don't have a directive. Someone that will dominate, that can control you. But looking at the nature, or looking at that spirituality, you can see that things about spiritual is just that it is beyond our imagination, but it exists. It actually exists. Now coming down to the creation, you said we are created from the ground. The reason why I'm particularly be focused on religion is just that, you know, the entity is very bigger. It's like our culture, and it's something we met on ground, and we eventually live within it. So, but I actually trying to modify or troubleshoot some ideas in order for the coming generation, you know, to be able to, you know, bring out some best in that narrative. Because some of the incomplete, you know, the New Testament, some of those questions
are still left unanswered.
So probably, or maybe someone has the fuller version.
So you are beseeching them to come out with it.
Maybe they should come out with it. Because telling me that God created us from the dust, from the ground, of which ground is a living being. It actually bear fruit.
You also mentioned it in one of your assertions that it is like placing something on nothing.
Yes, you see, and those are the narratives that religion actually gave us. But it's not actually that it's really bad, because I'm not here to condemn religion actually. But you see, comparing religion with nature, I actually want to beseech the coming, you know, this present world, we cannot change things, but coming generation, we can actually change some narratives and be giving our younger ones another narratives maybe instead of giving them religion, she give them the settings of the nature.
Okay, now one of the things you also mentioned was the fact that the scripture, religion teaches that man is the head, and you, in your assertion, believes even that could be incomplete because women tend to have more than men. Can you explain that?
Okay. Yes, it's part of
The narratives.
You said woman actually brought out from the
Ribs of the man.
man. Now, looking at the women, they have body parts
More.
more than men. Number one. Number two, they have meeting when men and women are meeting. The man gather all the strength and energy and actually discharge, hand up to woman. And looking at the head precisely, me looking at the head, all the parts on the head, most of the parts on the head, what do you think, which private parts do you think they resemble? You're looking at my lips and my mouth.
And your hair.
My hair, looking at my nose, my eyes. They resemble, they are not resemble. I don't see, they didn't resemble. And that is head for you. And looking at our head is like a buttock. It's like a buttock. So it actually tell you that the head of the house is woman. But all these narratives we met on ground that man is the head of the family, but religion cannot put beyond.
Okay.
You see, and you see, let me tell you, it's like a boat and knot. When men want to enter, women actually not horse. They come over us. Even though no matter how the style we do, no matter how the hours you do, you will still adopt to woman. So, but religion hasn't given me the fact. So that's why I want to beseech you, whoever has the complete version of those narratives in the Bible.
So conclusively, what do you think the youth of this generation, what do you think they should be up to? And also the government, what do you think they should be up to? Because in one of your assertions that I came across, you mentioned that if we are not careful, in the next 200 years, nature could deal with us if we don't get it right. That we have to unravel what nature, the settings of nature, and tap into it. So what will be your advice for the youth of this generation and also the government?
Okay, well, let me start with the youth. You see, I want to employ the youth like I have done. I've actually proclaimed myself not to be that religious, not to be that religion, deep in that religion and be stuck in that religion. You just have to get out and pull ourselves. You see, when someone is pulling you down, or a force is pulling you down, the only option for the person that is being pulled is just for you to gather your energy back, get some solution and information and gather it. See, we have seen what religion is doing for us, but it's actually trying its best, but we can still do better. So I want to employ the youth. Maybe coming generation, we should be giving ourselves the narrative to unravel the nature. You see, all the creatures within the earth and the sky, they are actually communicating. Yes, they are actually, they are really a relationship. It sacrifices some things. When you're seeing the sun, the moon, the star, the rain, rainbow, all of those, this creation, They typify something. They are saying something whenever you are seeing them.
All the forces of nature, you're saying
Yes.
that they have something that they represent,
Yes.
something that they stand for.
Yes.
Okay.
For example, let me tell you, our body parts, we actually come out from this nature.
Yes.
We are produced. They produce us.
Yes.
If you are seeing our body, it resembles the head. But when you see our soul, it resembles the sky
So you are saying that as a human, we have both the physical and the spiritual.
and the spiritual. But it's just being, we cannot unravel it. We cannot imagine it. That is spiritual. That is God for you. Nature is God. God is nature. So whenever you are seeing the rain falling, it's just like a husband communicating with her wife, giving money or giving him.
So the rain connect the sky and the. Okay.
Yes, when the rain is falling, it taps money. He actually giving money to his wife
You
to
also
buy
mentioned-
stuff, or when you are seeing rainbow, it taps economy.
Okay.
When an economy is pristine, when everything is rosy. And don't forget, when the rain is actually falling, you actually see thunder.
Okay. So now,
It's actually typify, security, that you should secure yourself when things are rosy.
Okay.
You should be aware of yourself. You secure yourself. So, and sun is they are communicating. You see, they are significant or something.
Okay, now I want us to digress a little as we conclude. I want you to mention and tell us about what your NGO tends to stand for and what the youth can benefit and how they can benefit from the NGO. What your NGO presently is up to after the NSAS protest. Is there any project you are doing, and how can the youth, how can they tap into that? How can they benefit from it?
Yes, you see, let youth gather themselves. Let them come out and gather themselves. Let them put themselves out of these narratives and come together. Stay as one. And when you are studying, when you are from one man and a woman, and our diversity in our language, it has a meaning. It's not that we are separated. Like the Bible gave us the narrative that during the Tower of Babel,
That was where our language scattered.
our language was scattered. And
You mentioned
do you
that
want
it
to
was
tell
not
me
only
that
the language that scattered.
yes, our voices is different. Even our tongue print is different. Our shape is different.
Our color.
Even yes. So it's not only our languages.
So you think there's going to be another narrative that has the complete information that we don't have now?
Provided if we can get that.
But if we cannot get that now, what do you think we should do?
But no, we definitely get it.
Okay.
Because
but pending the time that we will get the complete
I
narrative,
think we should,
what do you think we should do?
Youth should engage themselves and unravel the nature.
Unravel the
yes,
nature.
let's just unravel it. And nature has our individual life. We study our individual life in nature. Coming to the marriage in nature, and boils down to our politics, our government. You see everything inside the nature. It's all written. You just have to unravel it. So I will advise, government does not have any fault in this whole thing.
Why is that?
Yes, because we are government.
Okay. We are the government.
Yes, but
so once we can resolve our problems,
we actually mis-set the settings. So once youth comes together, gather themselves together, people that are in government now, they start off from youth. They start as a youth. Yes, even the whole world. You see, even the bigger economic country, they are always in war because this settings is not still.
It's not correct. It's not gotten it right.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I want to employ my youth, my fellow people, to come together, stay as one, and let's unravel some of these narratives. Let's restructure them and get things done for better. But if we fail to do all these things, in the next 200 years, nature will still revive itself. It will still reveal itself to some people. So I implore us to start doing it now before it's too late. So that's my own part, and you see, I've tried my best, tried to do some things in order for my country. Just because seeing my country, my society is not okay, I was not okay, and that's me. But provided if this thing yield, I really appreciate it.
So, what is going to be your last word and parting words? So everyone listening, not just the youth now, those at the end of affairs, everybody, what would be your parting words to everyone listening to you right now?
Okay, our daddies and mummies, government, individual, our society, to make our society civil, we need to be one. We need to actually see ourselves as one. We actually come from one man and a woman. Seeing ourselves as one, and you see, getting these settings of a thing, then we move on to our family will be okay. By the time the husband, by the time we know what all the parts of the body, what they typify according to the nature. I've explained about here, head.
Yes,
I've not explained the leg.
Okay, there's still explanation for the legs.
All the part of
Perhaps you're going to have that in the next interview.
Yes, all those parts.
Yeah,
There's a meaning why we are created.
The way we are created.
According to nature. So now I want to beseech our mommies and dad and everyone listening, just bringing another narratives. Get themselves ready and think in accordance to nature. Let us sit down together and unravel nature and make sure our society is actually civil. That's my point, and that's my aim and objective.
Do you think this vision is achievable, or do you think people are going to listen to nature? Do you have the hope, or do you think?
And that's why this generation, I don't think it is a big issue. You see, but that's why I want to employ. Actually, I've seen that all these narratives, religion, is not only Christian religion.
It is everywhere.
It's not only Christian religion. Every religion, even as a human being, we have not gotten where we come from. Our purpose in life, we need to discover all these points. And nature is explaining it.
For those that care to listen.
And where we are going, what we are going to be when we disappear out of this world. See, it's very paramount to our living, and we need to discover all these things. So that's why I know this generation it will be very difficult, but I just want to employ them. Just make sure coming generation, we are redirecting the fodder of their narratives to another thing. Let them focus on nature and seeing another world, another realm. I think from there we develop a new world, and everything will still go on as time goes on. Because by the time, the best thing for us to do in this life is just to get that nature.
But do you think
you find education.
Everything is embedded into nature.
You find restructuring. You actually find security. You find marriage, everything.
What would you say about nature conclusively? My last question. For people who smoke in their cigarette, these things are nature too, and they smoke it. Do you think it is wrong?
You see, someone asked me,
Did you see me?
Who created the nature? I said, God is nature. Nature is God. By the time you cannot unravel nature, you cannot unravel the sky, you are seeing nature. So back to your question. People that sing, that smoke
people that smoke marijuana, people that smoke marijuana and all of that.
Okay.
They take it from nature. So is it wrong for them to do that?
you know, abusive of nature.
Okay, so there is also
There's,
okay.
you
Nature can
know,
also be abused.
yes, it can also be abused.
So that's abuse of nature.
That's why it has to be minimal in some, whatever you are doing. You know, you actually see people that are doing marijuana you know, is it for their advantage or disadvantage? When you see this thing is causing problem or is putting dysfunction in the society, it's
Thank you,
actually
thank you. Your point has been made. Thank you very much, viewers at home. That is how much we can take. We have really learnt a lot from what we can derive and what we can learn from nature. At the same time, religion. We're going to have him another time and he's going to explain to us other parts of the body and what they tend to stand with. I have really enjoyed conversing with him and I know you viewers at home has also enjoyed that. Till we meet again another time. My name is Emmanuel Ibikunle. Catch ya.